Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Los.
What's going on with y'all, man? SSN gang, we back. It's your boy J. Yo.
Hey, we back, and we told you we would be back, man. We got some hot topics to discuss with y'all today. But before we get into it, we appreciate everybody for tapping in with us.
Facts. We appreciate all the love y'all been showing TikTok, Instagram. If you're catching us on YouTube right now, definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on them post notifications so y'all see every time we drop. We dropping bangers for y'all, like my boy said. Hit the like button, comment. We respond to all the comments, so definitely go ahead and comment. We love the debates, so hit us up.
Hey, for sure, for sure. But hey, bro, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. What's the first topic we got today?
Facts. So, I know we both watch a lot of basketball, and one thing I wanted to discuss because I noticed it a lot in some of the games that I've been watching is
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Ayton and his productivity level. Um, I know if you look at the stats don't truly tell the full story. But if you watch and pay attention to the Suns, he is clearly not engaged every single night, and I think it's going to be a detriment to that team. It was kind of weird when they matched that offer because it was clear he wanted to leave because they didn't offer him the max. So
Mm-hmm.
when they matched the offer, it was kind of weird. But I was like, oh, maybe they'll figure it out. But it seems like they got some internal issues there where he doesn't want to be there. Clearly, like, I don't think he wants to be there. He's making the
I
money, but what do you?
I think this is a case of the Suns didn't want him initially anyway. That's why they allowed him to go out there and test the waters. I think that's
Mhm.
what it really comes down to. The Suns didn't want him for whatever reason they didn't want him. My biggest thing is how do you mesh an all-star center or all-star big man that you know he wants the ball. He wants the ball. He wants to shoot. He wants to get his touches. So how do you feed him, but also feed everybody on the perimeter that wants to eat? I think that was what the Suns were looking at as far as okay, DeAndre Ayton's not really a floor spacer. He's not known as a floor spacer. He'll hit the midi, but he's not known as a floor spacer. And I think he doesn't. He sees himself as more than a pick and roll kind of guy. So I think the Suns initially saw what we're seeing right now. They foresaw this happening where he wasn't going to be engaged because he's not one of those players that can get off just playing defense. He's not going to be cool with just playing defense. DeAndre Ayton reminds me a little bit of John Collins, in the sense that they were in positions to where when it was D Book and DeAndre Ayton, and when Chris Paul first came on, shit was all gravy. But I feel like just like Mikal Bridges is coming to his own, campaign is coming to his own. They got pieces and players over there that are coming into their own, and DeAndre Ayton needs someone to give him the ball. He doesn't have the ball off rip. So if all these people is trying to eat, and you got to be spoon fed, well, shit, Phoenix ain't the spot for you. And that's the same reason. That's why I brought up John Collins because I feel like with the pieces they've brought on and with the people they got coming up, there's no space left for John Collins to get his touches, and he can't create his own shot.
Facts. I definitely agree with some of the points you made. One thing that you said is the fit, and like you said, Phoenix kind of runs this free-flowing offense where we seeing Mikal Bridges starting to come into his own campaign, like you said, coming to his own. Devin Booker starting to play at a superstar level. You still got Chris Paul, and so they want to keep the ball flowing and moving. But
Yep.
like you said, Andre Ayton is a guy who needs touches to impact the game, and that's how he
Yep.
wants to impact the game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they mesh, but it's also weird because at the same time they're winning. They're like the 1 or 2 seed in their conference, but it's going to reach a point where they get to the playoffs
But
and that
I,
chemistry.
I think that's very telling. You just said it that he's having an all-time low of a year, and they're still doing great without him. As a player that was once in all-star contention, as a player that was a 20-10 guy damn near, I feel like your team is still winning and you're not producing. That shows that they just gave you that to basically to shut you up, I guess. I don't know. They don't want you to feel bad. I don't know. But obviously they didn't need him.
Yeah, I think
So
I think what happened is they were looking they were exploring their options. They were like, all right, we don't want to give you this max deal because we don't see you as that type of player for us. But then it came to the point was like, all right, well, we don't have a replacement, so we'll just match the offer that you're gonna get just because
exactly.
there's nothing better for us to get. And I feel like DeAndre Ayton isn't taking that well. Like he's not taking that as like a veteran. He's still a young player. We gotta understand he's still a young
But in
player.
all seriousness, you got to put some of that blame on the organization too because it was one of those if we can't have you, no one can kind of situations. Basically, that's how I feel about it. That they didn't want to give up DeAndre Ayton for nothing. Mm-hmm. But now, where's his trade value at?
So that was going to be my next question is, I feel like they were hoping that, okay, maybe we can mend these fences, throughout the season and we'll figure it out. But it's clear, I feel like him and the coach kind of butt heads because the coach, I mean, at the end of the day, like you have to be able to manage personalities, but you're still trying to win. You're trying to do your job. If somebody is clearly giving you half effort, not running back on defense, doing this and that, you're going to bench him. But at the same time, Ayton is like, all right, bro, I'm the best center we got. Why am I getting benched? So it's kind of like they're just butting heads. And I feel like he's not approaching it as like how a veteran would, like a pro. He's kind of still young in his mindset. And that's kind of, I don't want to say hurting the team because like we said, they're still winning, but I think it's going to hurt the team in the long run.
What center is dominating right now? What center is the best player on their team besides Joel Embiid, who has a bag unlike any other center we've ever seen?
Yeah, I mean, outside of Embiid, Jokic, maybe Cat. Cat's been hurt, but maybe Cat. I feel like, yeah, there's not too many just centers that you just come down.
He can't do what those three centers can do.
No, not at all. And I think specifically for Phoenix, I feel like we've seen them. I've seen Ayton be hurt last year, and who came in? Bismack Biyombo, JaVale McGee, guys like that have success because that team is predicated on pick and roll, moving the ball, and those are guys who are just going to play with energy. So I feel like Phoenix only truly needs an energy center. So I'm interested to see, and I want to see what you got to say. Do you think that, obviously I know that once you sign a deal, there's like a certain date you can't be traded until, but once they reach that date, do you think that they look for deals for Ayton, or do you think that they just say, all right, we're having a certain level of success, let's see if it can work?
I think internally they know what's going on. I think you got to look for a deal. I think you got to look for a deal. You're the number 1 seed in the West, number 2 seed in the West. And you've noticed the last couple of years you've been off by 1 or 2 pieces.
I think that, like I said, I don't think they need a center necessarily in return. I think that they could be fine if they got a Bismack Biyombo or another just energy center. I think they need help on the wing because Jay Crowder's not playing. Cam Johnson's hurt. I think they need to wing that.
Get you an elite role playing wing. I think that's what they need to do. My thing is, who really needs that? Who really wants DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah, I mean, I think DeAndre Ayton still has a market. He's still averaging like 17 and 9. I think if he's engaged and he's on a team where it's less about let's move this rock, let's run these pick and rolls, and it's more, okay, it's a team where he can get some touches, I feel like he'll be more engaged and we can see the best out of DeAndre Ayton. That's just me personally. But like you said, I think it's going to be tough because he's making so much money right now. It's like, do we want to take this money? And we've seen what happens when you aren't getting your way. You kind of start pouting. You're not getting back on stuff like that. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting situation. I'm really interested to see what Phoenix does because they're in a weird window where it's like, all right, we have a team who we think can win a championship. We got Devin Booker playing at a great level. Chris Paul's getting nothing but older, and he's kind of starting to look like he's starting to show his age. Clearly, like, I'm going to be honest.
Clearly.
So I'm interested to see what decision they make because I think naturally you would think, all right, we got 2 young stars, DeAndre Ayton and Booker. We want to build off of that, but Ayton don't want to be there. So, I mean, at some point they got to figure it out. We'll see what happens with that situation. I want to move over to some more positive news. Some people see it positively. I've seen a lot of, some negative stuff, but that's just the world we're in. But Brittney Griner, she returned home, man. She returned home.
They freed BG out the chain gang.
Free BG, man. So I want to get your thoughts. I'll get my thoughts. But I know we both feel the same way. Shout out BG. We're happy that she's home.
Yeah, man, for sure. A lot of people are making a fuss about the fact that we traded Brittney Griner's freedom in turn for a Russian arms dealer, Victor Bout, or Victor Boot, whatever the fuck it is. But a lot of people are upset that we traded a women's basketball player for a guy that's such a menace, right? People don't understand. Victor Bout had a 25-year sentence here in America. This year is year 15. So he served a majority of his prison sentence here in America. So a lot of people aren't looking at it from that end. Brittney Griner is 4 months into a 9-year sentence in Russia. Like we care about our own here, and we want to make sure that we're taking care of us. And Joe Biden might want to make a little slip at trying to get reelected. The time coming around. He said, "Let me go ahead and get let me go ahead and get some positive news out there that I've done." And he's seen Trump free Kodak. And so we saw everybody was hyped for Trump when he freed Kodak. So at the end of the day, man, it's good that she's home and with her family. And I just hope people all over the world can see that we don't gotta imprison people over cannabis oil. It's not. It can never be that serious.
Man, yeah. So first, I want to say shout out Brittney Griner. I know her family, everybody's just super ecstatic, and it's just like it's a weight lifted off their backs because this is something that we've everybody's been talking about, everybody's been thinking about. I definitely agree with you. I think that Biden pushed for this because he wants some positive momentum in his direction, seeing as a lot of people have negative things and thoughts about him. So he's like, all right, let me get some positive news going. So I definitely think that was part of it. But just on the positive note, I just hope that Americans can show some compassion, because it's easy to talk about shit from the outside, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
What the fuck Brittney Griner been through in these last few months? First of all, she probably had no idea when she was gonna get out. She might have been in her head thinking like she's gonna have to serve all of it. She's over in Russia where she's a fucking 6'8", however big she is, black woman with dreads and tattoos. So it's not like she could just fit in or anything like that. She's an outsider and
Yep.
she don't speak their language. Who knows what the fuck was going on? There was reports that America didn't know where she was. She was in these camps. So like I can't even imagine what's going through her head and how she made it through that because I know somebody like me, bro, I would be in that bitch tripping.
We didn't even talk about that because that
Feel me?
for us as the country to have made that decision, I think that's awesome. And like you said, I just hope the American people could be empathetic towards the situation.
Just show some empathy and just I hope I ask that everybody just prays for her mental health, her family's mental health, because that's some shit that's gonna be with you for the rest of your life. Like that experience is something that she's never gonna be able to get rid of. So hopefully she can get back to playing basketball, get her mind right, and I just hopefully we can use this as a positive and people don't look at it as a negative. Oh, we did this for this. And one last thing I want to add is when people say, "Oh, we traded this basketball player for this arms dealer, this terror or whatever," you got to understand. The only reason we know about this is because it's Brittney Griner. She's a public figure. She's a famous person. Do you know how many deals like this go down that we don't know about, that we don't hear about, that aren't public?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
like this is stuff that happens a lot that we just don't think about or just aren't privy to the information. So I just want people to understand that, like, yes, we did get Brittney Griner, and it is a basketball player for this guy, but this guy could have got out for some other stuff for another person. We never know, bro. So you know what I'm saying? Just let's just be happy.
He served over 50% of his sentence. So
Facts, facts, facts. So shout out BG. Let us know in the comments how y'all feel about that. I know everybody has a different opinion on that, but we at SSN are happy to see her get home. In my head right now, when I think of the best teams in the league right now, I'm thinking of the Celtics. I'm thinking of the Bucks. They're in the same conference. Do you think that the NBA should consider moving to a 1 through 16 playoff format instead of the East versus West?
oh man. Well, I think in all honesty, the way the NBA is pivoting, I would like to see a 1 through 16 March Madness styled event for the playoffs. Maybe a best of five, 1 through 16, just because the only issue with that is the constant traveling from East to West Coast if you get bracketed with someone. So if you're playing in Orlando, if you got Orlando versus Portland, that's a lot of traveling within a week. If you got New York versus LA, it's a lot of traveling within a week. So I think that's the only downside that I look at it as is that's a lot of airtime, them legs, get them clots in them. I don't know if that'll be the best thing for the players, but as far as the fans' experience, 1 through 16 would be best. But I think that the NBA, I think that what the NBA is doing now, because they are scared of the travel, I feel like that's why they've made the play-in, because they do want to make it a little more competitive. But I think going 1 through 16, the travel and the amount of money and time, I think that'll be the biggest thing. Just because if you're going to keep that same format of two, what is it? What is it now? 2-2,
It's
1-1-1.
2-2, 1-1. Yep.
Yeah. So if you're going to keep that same format, can you imagine? Can you
Yeah.
imagine being two teams on the total different sides? But what's your thoughts on that?
So yeah, that's actually a great point that I didn't even think of was the travel. Which I don't think that the NBA needs to go to the 1 through 16, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't think it's like the worst idea. I think it would make for a more competitive playoff system just because now we don't have to worry about, okay, the eighth seed maybe in one conference being so bad, or, it just would make everything a little bit more competitive. But like you said, the travel, that could be something that really affects the games. And I'm somewhat of a traditionalist when it comes to like, all right, all these other dudes had to win their championships this way. Let's keep it kind of how it's been. We don't need to, reinvent the wheel.
That's the problem. We keep changing the benchmarks for shit that don't need the benchmark change. The only American sports rule that needs changing, there should not be no fucking tie games in the NFL.
Yeah,
I am done with fucking tie games in the NFL. Okay, let me say that. I'm done with tie games. I'm damn near, I'm one more tie game from not watching that shit the rest of the year. So that's where I'm at with it. But as far as the current system we got in place for the NBA playoffs, I like how they got it now.
Facts. I agree with you. Real quick, one point I want to throw in there is, so I agree with you on the tie thing. I think that's the dumbest thing. Like, there's no reason that an NFL game should end in a tie, especially because at the end of the season, like, a tie can change like your playoff seeding if you have a tie in another game. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. But it's always funny because you don't really think about it until that shit happens to your team. As soon as your team tie, you be like, this is fucking stupid.
Hey, my teammate ties is like 89 or some shit. So
when it don't happen, you don't even care.
I ain't even been alive to see a tie for my team. But when I seen the Giants tie with and for it to be such a huge rivalry, that's one of the last great rivalries in the NFL, the Giants Skins. Really, the NFC East has the best rivalries. So for those games to end, that's unholy. Let me say that is unholy. So they need.
And I gotta say, bro, you don't even think about it because ties don't happen so that often in the NFL. So you're just like, oh, whatever. But then as soon as it happened to your team, you'd be like, bro, what the hell is? I'd rather lose. Like, I'd rather lose. That's funny, but okay. So I'm gonna move over to this next topic. You talked about the NFC East. You talked about I want to talk about two teams in your division, Los, the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Okay.
Eagles have one loss. The Cowboys are right behind them. Which team do you feel like has the better chance to win the Super Bowl?
The Eagles, hands down. Hands down. I like the Cowboys. I like Minka over there. They got a solid team, but they're doing so well, and they over here fanboying. I can't even play for them. You feel me? Like, and I think that mentality is the difference between a team like the Cowboys, where they aren't engulfing themselves in what they currently have. There's always some extra shit going on with them, and I feel like that extra shit always comes back to bite them in the ass. And it's like they're going all in for this Odell shit. Why are we not hearing about them winning? Why are we not hearing about the team success? When you get to the Eagles, you hear Jalen Hurts, fucking guy. People are like, oh, he don't got the same resume as that. Fuck resume. Jalen Hurts is that fucking dude, and he's leading them boys. And that Philadelphia Eagles team is quiet and deadly, and that's the worst type of team. That's the worst type of team I want to go up against in the playoffs. They don't got shit going on around them. You don't hear shit except them winning. And I think that's the difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Is the Cowboys, there's so many distractions. And I feel like they're not going to be able to get over that hump. Like I said, they got some great pieces. The talent is there. As far as the team, though, I don't know if Dak really has that locker room on lock like we think he does.
I agree with you. I would say the Eagles. I do see the argument for the Cowboys in that we haven't seen Jalen Hurts in the playoffs yet. The playoffs is a different animal. We haven't seen that yet. We have seen the Cowboys make the playoffs. We've seen Dak win. I think he won a playoff game. Am I correct on that?
Oh, yeah, he
won. So we've seen him play good in the playoffs. But the reason I gotta go with the Eagles is for part of the stuff that you said about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is tough as nails, bro. He's tough as nails, and he doesn't seem to be affected by the moment. He seems he's coming into his own. Like we're seeing a real true dog before our eyes. Like he's not the best thrower. He's not the best runner. He's one of the best runners. He's not the best runner, but he just gets it done, bro. He gets it done. I like a lot of the pieces that the Cowboys have. I like that they're starting to use Tony Pollard a lot more because I think that it's clear as day. Tony Pollard is the best back that they got. I love Zeke. I'm an Ohio State fan, but Tony Pollard is better than Zeke right now. So absolutely. You feel me? I like that they're emerging Tony Pollard. Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in the league. I like the pieces that the Cowboys have. I just don't fucking trust Dak. I just don't trust him when the money is on the line. When you
And that's
need,
where I'm at with it, bro.
you feel
That's
me?
where I'm
When
at.
you need that, when you need your quarterback to come through, make that big play to rally everybody, I just don't feel like Dak is gonna get it done. I feel like we've seen him fail time after time in big moments. And yes, we haven't seen Jalen Hurts have that those chances yet. But from what we are seeing of him this year, the boy is tough as nails. And I don't know why, but I trust him more in these
He is,
playoffs
right? Yeah.
than I trust Dak. The one thing I will say is I always feel like teams that win a lot, like a team like the Eagles, where they only have this one loss, I feel like they're due for a loss. I always feel like that. And maybe that's just me as a fan. I just always feel like
And
those
I
teams
hope
that have
so. We
a
got
great
him
season,
twice. I hope so. We got him twice.
and they're gonna beat y'all. I'm not gonna lie, but when I say loss, I mean like at the worst time. Like they might win all these games and they get to the playoffs and they play that one bad game, and since they haven't really faced too much adversity, it might be overwhelming for them, and they might not be able to come back. But I trust Jalen Hurts over that any day. I'm gonna just ask you this real quick. You remember that year that the Patriots went undefeated and then they lost to your Giants in the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
But that season, the Patriots were like this super dominant team every week, week in and week out. You expected them to win. Like you know what I'm saying? We expect them to win every game. I don't have that same feeling when I watch the Eagles where they're like super dominant. Obviously, I think that they're playing good football, they're winning these games, but I don't look at them as like, oh, this overwhelming favorite that can't lose. How do you feel?
I agree. To be honest with you, I think the NFL is a lot more wide open than it was during that time. I feel like there's a couple decades in the NFL that come and go when there's just the NFL is in a drought to where the talent across all teams is not necessarily there. I feel like we're in an NFL era right now where, I mean, the Jets are fucking good, bro. The Jets were fucking good earlier this year. So it's like they rang off a couple wins against the teams they weren't supposed to win against. So if the Eagles lose, cool. That doesn't matter to me. They might, like you said, losing might help build a little extra toughness, a little extra armor for them going into the playoffs. If they do lose a couple or lose one or two going into the playoffs, I think, like you said, it might be good for them, and it might be good for them to sit Jalen Hurts the last couple games of the season too.
Yep. Okay, so I want to move over to the other conference, the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most people right now got the Bills and the Chiefs at the top of the conference. Bengals just beat the Chiefs, so maybe they throw the Bengals in there. But I feel like the Bills and the Chiefs have kind of been the class all year. So those two teams, who do you see has the best chance to win?
These are the motherfucking Warriors, okay, bro? These niggas here, they took some time off from winning, but they back. And I feel like watching that team, I don't know if you watched the Patrick Mahomes interview he did a couple weeks ago with Travis Kelce, but he is just so alive and active within that team. And you just see them on the field. That camaraderie is there. They've had so many people coming in and out the door, and for them to still be right here lets me know they have a system in place. And that system, the Bills don't have that same system in place. You know, the Ravens don't have that system, but the Bengals don't have that system in place. And to be honest with you, Josh Allen, he's touch and go. I feel like he runs off 4 or 5 great games, and then he has 2-3 bad ones. So as far as consistency goes, I'm definitely taking the Chiefs, but Bills possibly. But I really am. I'm like set on the Chiefs coming out the AFC this year.
I got you. So I'm gonna disagree with you just a little bit on this one. It's so hard to pick against Mahomes, bro, because Mahomes, I feel like he's proven that he's the guy. Like we've tried to put other people on his level, and I don't think there's anybody who's just consistently on that level. Like you compare him to the Warriors, he's like the Steph Curry. When Steph Curry was having those unanimous MVP seasons, and he was just doing.
That's why I wrote the Warriors comparison.
Yeah, like Patrick Mahomes is that, bro. He's the guy. But I see some chinks in that armor around Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I think that they lost Tyreek Hill, and he has to trust like Juju Smith-Schuster, Valdez-Scantling, other guys. Like obviously we know what Travis Kelce is, but outside of those guys, he has some pieces. I think he has some good pieces, and Patrick Mahomes being the guy that he is, he can lead those guys. But I like the Bills roster just a little bit more. And I feel like if the Bills, and this is a big if the Bills can get that home field advantage, they did beat the Chiefs this year, so they will have that tiebreaker over them. If they get that home field advantage, and we have to see the Chiefs go on the road for that game, I like the Bills. The Chiefs normally have that. They have that home field advantage, and they have that thing where it's like no matter how much they get down, they're gonna come back. But I feel like if you get them down in Buffalo with those crazy fans, that fucking snow lows, it's gonna be cold as shit.
Get cold in Kansas City too. Though. Get cold in Kansas
Josh
City.
Allen strong as shit. Josh Allen coming down to me, trucking somebody, Los. Give me Josh and give me the fucking Bills. I'm saying it right now. I'm taking them over the Chiefs, Los.
Okay. Hey, so y'all see. I have the Chiefs. He has the Bills. So this is actually a good one because I feel like that's definitely gonna be the AFC Championship.
And if the Bills lose, we're gonna delete this footage. But no, but yeah, okay. So you got the Chiefs, I got the Bills. I want to ask you another quick football question that I've been thinking about. And I'm really interested to see your answer on this because I feel like I know it, but sometimes you surprise me. So, is Justin Herbert cap? Was he anointed too soon? Is he not as good as we thought he was?
I been said that. I don't know where we get to. Hey, Jail. How many playoff games has Josh Herbert won?
He hasn't been to the playoffs yet.
How many MVPs did Josh Herbert have?
0.
Okay, so where the fuck are we getting this information from? Are the Chargers the number one offense in the league? Are they a top 5 offense in the league?
Not currently, no.
So what the fuck? This is where I'm at with it. So let me go ahead and calm down for a second. But look, Josh Herbert, he's a solid player. Not taking that away from him. He's good. But as far as we put in this, I saw at the beginning of the year, he was on the same ESPN and Fox. They put up their thing, and you see a picture of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and you see Herbert right there. What the fuck? What the fuck? How? Joe Burrow. That's who we should be talking about. Joe fucking Burrow. That man, how many playoff wins he got? A few. Okay, he got a few. Hey.
You do?
He was an MVP candidate last year.
Okay. So okay, I want to ask you this. So obviously we got the top tier, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, then I'm assuming you got Joe Burrow right under that. Who knows? I don't know where you got Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, but we'll throw them out right now because we'll just talk about the young guys. So where do you have Justin Herbert? What level?
If we're going 3 tiers, he's mid-tier. He's mid. He's a mid-tier quarterback. I have Patrick Mahomes. I got Lamar Jackson. I got Aaron Rodgers. We'll put the GOAT Tom up there because Tom's still getting some wins off and shit. But he's going to be in that same shit. He's going to be right in Herbert. I think he's like a notch above Dan Jones.
Wow. Okay. Is he better than Tua?
No.
Okay. Is he better than Jalen Hurts?
No.
Okay. All right, so let me get to my point because I heard that crazy shit my boy just said. let me offer y'all some real.
They know Lowe's unpredictable. They know Lowe's unpredictable.
Look, Justin Herbert, talent-wise, is at the top of the league. If we're talking just pure talent, nobody can do what he has the best arm in the league. He has the best arm in the league. I'm not gonna lie to you. If we're talking just talent. Second of all, the Chargers, they had crazy expectations this offseason coming into the season. They were supposed to be the surprise Super Bowl team up there with the Chiefs, everybody like that. And I understand that. Hasn't happened. Not Justin Herbert's fault, though. This is not on Herbert. First of all, this team has been drilled with injuries, drilled with injuries. Let me tell you, Joey Bosa got hurt. J.C. Jackson, big pickup. He's been hurt. Mike Williams has only played 8 games. Keenan Allen has only played 5 games. When he don't have Keenan Allen and he don't have Mike Williams, he's throwing that shit to me and you, bro. I kid you not. He's out there throwing that bitch to me and you. He's still getting his 300 yards a game. My boy Justin Herbert is not the issue. He's still the guy. Now, I will give you Joe Burrow versus Herbert. It's a great argument, and Burrow has had the more success. Herbert, I think he's 6-6 this year. My boy broke his rib, Los. I know you've seen that. He was holding the rib, still throwing 50 yards, bro. Come on, Los. Come on.
I seen it.
Who else doing that? Who else breaking that rib, throwing that bitch 50, Los? Who doing that?
Hey, did they win?
Bro, you talking about wins and losses, bro. I'm talking about the quarterback play himself, man. I know wins and losses.
Quarterbacks are indicative. When we see the Packers losing, we don't say shit about the receivers they got. We don't say shit about the running back. We don't say shit about the linebacker. We don't say shit about the defensive coordinator. We say, Aaron Rodgers, what the fuck happened? And when Aaron Rodgers tries to say, should have won me, we ain't trying to hear that. We are not trying to hear that. So if we're gonna put this man in the upper echelon of quarterbacks, then he gonna have to win some fucking games. That division he's in is pretty weak. Let's just keep it a stack. What's the division? Give me the 14th division.
Chiefs, that's not a weak team, but the Broncos absolutely suck. The Raiders have been trash. So I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
It was supposed to be the best division in football this year, and Russell Wilson turned out to be the most. You want to talk about cap? That's cap. That's the definition of cap. He's cap. The Raiders been terrible this year. And another point I want to make very quickly: the coach. The coach was supposed to come in and be this defensive guru. He came from the Rams. He had fucking Aaron Donald and fucking Jalen Ramsey on his defense. Top, like the two Hall of Famers, two of the best defensive players we've ever seen. Obviously, he had a good defense. Huh?
I could have coached them boys.
That's what I'm trying to say. We could coach that defense. Hey, Aaron, you go sack the quarterback. Jalen, you give me some picks. It's fucking simple.
You guard the best receiver. Aaron, you get to the quarterback. Come on.
You feel me? So I don't. So Staley was supposed to be this great, amazing defensive guru, and the defense that he's coaching right now is trash. So you can't put it all on the quarterback when the defense is trash. Everybody's hurt. My boy Herbert playing with a broke rib. He's still doing his thug thizzle, Los.
He is, and I'm not saying he is, but we talk. The question was, is he in top, basically top 5 of the young QBs right now, and he ain't done shit for me to put him up there.
And I respect that, and I do agree that he got a lot of hype going into this season. So to see them at 6-6, 500 record, it's not great. But all I want to say is my boy's still the truth. My boy's still the truth. Y'all let us know down in the comments. Is Justin Herbert cap? I'm telling y'all he's not, but y'all let me know, man.
Let us know, man. Hey, y'all get down there and tell J.O. Justin Herbert is cap.
All right. They say we got a minute left. All
right, so let's go ahead and get up out this one, and I'll send another one.
All right.
Is that cool?
Yeah, come on.